So don't take that.
We won't take the
Yes, let's be the
pods.
in
Episode 24 of Pods.
In the key of
Spring.
Field.
Hey guys, it's Nick here. I got a message from James. He's editing the episode. He wants me to record a little sting. There's a few things here. Apparently, I said the episode number wrong in the very first thing that we say in the episode. That's a pretty good track record. Apparently, it's not episode 24, it's episode 33. And there's something else here. Who are my guys? What? Tonight we are doing Season 3, Episode 24, Brother, Can You Spare Two Dimes?
Brother, can you spare 2 dimes?
I don't have any dimes.
Okay.
I'm Australian.
What about nickels?
No nickels either.
What about dollars? Do you have any dollars?
The only the only nickel I have is one I've borrowed off you, so I can give your nickel back if you want.
Okay. First, I'm going to need you to look at this photograph.
Very good.
Yes.
And then, because we did... You might remember we did Treehouse of Horror as a standalone episode, which means that this would be a standalone episode, but you're getting a little bloody double,
Little
listeners.
bloody double.
So we're doing Season 3, Episode 24, the finale of Season 3, Brother, Can You Spare Two Dimes, and then we're going to do our top 5s.
Whether you're framing this as a double is slightly less than usual.
Slightly less. Slightly less than usual, yes. So, chalkboard in... Oh, I'm Nick.
Yep, and I'm not Nick. I'm the other one, James.
Not Nick. First, chalkboard in Brother, Can You Spare Two Dimes? I will not fake seizures.
Yes.
All right. Good
Sure.
advice.
Yeah, okay. Good.
So this episode, this is the return of Herb Powell, the return of Danny DeVito.
The Debates. Now, anyone who has listened to this podcast being Pods in the Key of Springfield, please rate and review, will know that I have an affinity for Daniel DeVito. I'm a big fan of the DeVites.
Does Daniel DeVito have a middle name?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. DeVito, if you have a middle name, please let us know.
Please let us know.
And by DeVito, that could be any of your children or your ex-wife. Although I think maybe she goes by Perlman. I think that's her surname, but still. If anyone out there has any way for us to reach out to Danny DeVito, we'd love to be in touch.
Where do I know Perlman from? That's a name that's
You
familiar.
think of Ron Perlman?
Am I? Who's Ron Perlman?
He was Hellboy in the movie Hellboy.
Hellboy.
He also played Hellboy in the movie Hellboy 2.
Little Hellboy.
And I think he played the eponymous Beast in Beauty and the Beast. One version of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, the
Not the animated one. It was
no,
like
no,
some
no,
other.
the one with Hermione.
No, not that one.
Oh,
that
not
was
that
Dan
one.
Stevens, I think.
Wait, have there been multiple live-action Beauty and the Beasts?
Yeah, there's been like TV versions.
Oh, TV versions.
Yeah.
Oh, like Once Upon a Time? No.
Once upon a time, in a nursery rhyme, there were 3 bears. 2, a 3, a 4. A mama and a papa and a wee bear. 2, 3, 4.
Are you doing a rock and roll version of the Three Bears?
I believe I am, yes.
Oh.
I remember that from school.
You know, my favourite iteration of the Three Bears.
Somebody touch your spaghetti?
Yeah. They got all up in my spaghetti.
Okay.
So this episode starts with the medical being held at the power plant, the medical test.
Yes.
Little Lenny rocks up nude,
Little Lenny with his dick swinging.
and just entirely nude.
Yep.
I really
Nude.
nude.
Yeah.
I really enjoy how straight that joke is played. Just rocks up. Oh, I forgot the medical. Yeah, it's good. What I want to know about the results of the medical test is why is Smithers the one running these tests? He's the one inspecting Homer's sperm sample. Why is Smithers is not a doctor? He's not a medical professional.
He's also done his own sperm sample. I mean, why is sperm sampling a part of this medical test?
Why is it part of this
It seems
employee medical test?
You get midway through, and we're drinking coffee, so I feel like I need to space out my punchlines, because you like to laugh. Who doesn't?
I do like to laugh.
But I like, you get teared up. All right, go to that room and come. That's... See, I'll let you finish your sip of coffee before I...
Ah, that's good. And then when you back that up with Homer's explanation of how the medical went, you know, walk in, pull that down, bend over, spread
Spread
that,
that, yeah.
turn your head sideways, cough. And then we find out that they're inspecting all the cums.
Yeah.
Don't know about this medical.
And they don't need to label the cum because every sperm just looks like the person it came out of, apparently.
Well, I mean,
Will Smithers' sperm is wearing glasses.
I think that bit's real.
Yeah.
That's the only true science we can take away from all of this.
I mean, we got a doctor on this week so they could talk about it. So, Dr. Cummingsworth, if you could tell us, yes, it's perfectly understandable that Smithers' cum wears glasses. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Excellent.
You can go now. Oh, okay, I'm just going to stand over here then, shall I? Yes, please do.
No, please leave my
Please.
heart.
Yes, please leave. These
Okay.
fucking mooches.
I'm going to cross that out. Cross out my note.
Dr. Cummingsworth, yep.
Dr. Cummingsworth.
out.
That character's done.
Took him, threw him away. You know, I feel like when I first saw this episode, I wouldn't have known what sperm was.
Oh,
I would
interesting.
have been a young child. I would have no concept of sperm. I'm just looking, this man is infertile. Look at the sperm. I'm like, huh, okay. Don't know what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm young.
I have no recollection about the first time I saw this episode and whether or not I knew what was going on in it.
The first
Interesting.
episode that I remember seeing and thinking, this is a brand new episode that has never been on Australian TV before,
Oh, yes.
was the B-Sharps episode. Homer's Barbershop Quartet, first episode of Season 5.
Sure, okay.
Season 5 is the first season I remember watching as it was new.
Sure.
So I was pretty young.
Pretty young.
When I would have seen this episode for the first time.
First time. Pretty young.
Yeah.
I have no recollection about what...
What we just watched, what TV is.
No, I have no recollection about any interactions with Simpsons media when I was... Like, I don't remember the first time I saw the shows. I don't remember the first time I don't know, read one of the comics. I don't remember the first time I read a letter that was published in one of the comics.
Nick.
We just don't know.
I remember the comics.
Really?
I remember them well.
Oh, weren't you talking about this in a recent episode?
I may have. I've got some dark things in my past, Nick, and who knows what ways I'll find to explore them in the future.
James, dark things in the past. Do you mean the shadow behind you? Because you can just fix that by turning around and it's in front of you then, or by moving the light source. Do you want me to move the light source?
I'm scanning my head for like jokes I can make off of that about source that is too light, and I'm like, no, none of that's any good.
Oh,
Yeah,
what, like a light soy sauce instead of a standard soy sauce or a dark soy sauce?
yeah, sure.
Yeah. I like using dark soy sauce as the basis for my stir fries.
Okay, you do strike me as a dark soy sauce man. Dark soy sauce man, which is another Scott Ackerman nickname.
Fuck.
It's good to see Mr. Burns in this episode. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen Burnsy.
Yeah, because
This is the third episode we've recorded today of our podcast, and of the 5 episodes of The Simpsons we've watched, Burnsy only pops up in one of them.
Yeah. When he walks in at first, he's holding his arms slightly outstretched like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Like little stubby little T-Rex arms.
Yes.
I enjoy that.
Yes, so do I.
I like to imagine that's how he just traipses around.
Yeah. He's a good Burns. Good man.
Burnsman.
One of my favorites. So, Homer's infertile. His sperm doesn't work. His cum's having no effect. I gotta stop saying the word cum, but I just think it's a funny word.
It's a pretty funny word.
Yeah. So he's going
You're
to be
leaning
given.
into it hard, though.
Yeah, he's going to be given $2,000 dues.
Yes.
Yes. So we cut to Herb. Herb Powell's back.
Herb Powell.
Old mate DeVito.
Yes.
Back in rare form, doing the thing he does. Once again, very good in this episode.
Very good.
Big fan of Danny DeVito. Love him more than I love life itself.
Sure.
Would give up everything for a moment of his company.
Wow.
Yeah. He's my best and only friend.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
This is getting interesting now. Yes.
Yeah, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, good show. So, Mr. Powell, he's a pal to you and me. He is homeless. He's on the street. One of the other homeless people there was Charlie Chaplin, I noticed.
Yeah, that was an interesting
He's eating a boot. I think
there-
one of the other guys might have been based on one of the writers of The Simpsons. He looked familiar.
Oh, really? Because there was one there that looked an awful lot like Droopy the Clown. No, Droopy Draws the Clown.
Droopy Jaws, yeah.
A character who, in the... oh my god.
Black Widower.
Black Widower, thank
Yeah.
you. at the award ceremony where Sideshow Bob wins, someone called Droopy Jaws loses, and I think that then rendered this poor little clown homeless.
Yeah, really did not take his Emmy loss, or his daytime Emmy loss, well.
No, he did not.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
It is. The Simpsons
You know,
is a TV show that we have watched.
I think that the days when we record 3 episodes in a row, the 3rd episode tends to be one of the best.
It's alright, we'll bounce back. We got these coffees, we got DeVito, we got it all happening here.
We've got caffeine, we've got DeVites. You've done a fucking diagram of Danny DeVito on your notes that I've just noticed.
A diagram is a picture.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't get a blueprint.
You've done an illustration of DeVites.
Yeah, I gave him a lazy eye.
Was that intentional, or you just shit at eyes?
I just thought it'd be fun for him to have a lazy eye. I thought it would
Yeah.
add character.
It's actually a surprisingly good likeness of DeVites.
DeVito's not hard to draw, he's just a circle. I only drew his head as well.
He's not like Kirby. Kirby's a circle.
I can draw Kirby.
You gonna draw a Kirby?
There's a circle.
Circle.
There we go, little arms, little legs.
Oh, that's a really good Kirby.
He's smoking a cigar. There we go, that's
Why is
Kirby.
Kirby smoking a cigar?
Because every character I draw gets to smoke a cigar. It's like my trademark.
Was it you that drew the dolphin with a monocle and a top hat?
Yes, it was. That was me.
Yeah, cool. That was your MSN picture for a while, I think.
Yeah. I used to be a Microsoft Paint artist. I don't know if people know this about me, but I had my own little webcomic. It was called Sweet
Sweet
Biscuits. Yep. That was who I was for a long time. And now I'm whatever jackass I am now. Now I guess I podcast.
I mean, I think Sweet Biscuits was one of the best things that you've ever published. But anyway, enough about that. So, I want to talk about the montage after Homer, after the kids break Homer's couch. Have you got anything before that?
I do have one thing to note. When we see...
Please, note away.
when we see her pal and he's talking to the other homeless guys, they show a flashback to the earlier episode that featured him to remind us of what happened in that.
Yeah.
And that's a funny little throwback to a time when people hadn't seen the earlier episodes so often and their entire personalities weren't built around memorizing The Simpsons.
That's true.
When you had to remind people what had happened in previous
Yeah.
episodes,
Or
as opposed to it being the core fundamental part of who we are.
Or it may be the case that some people had never seen that early episode. Because I don't know. I guess by this stage, have they hit 100 episodes yet?
No,
Are they up to...
not even close.
No,
the
they're not.
100th episode is Sweet Seymour Skinner's badass song in season 5.
Oh, wow.
It's the one where the dog gets into the vents. And
all
he
the way
loses-
up to season 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And that's when they hit 100 episodes. That gives them, like a good number for syndication.
I was about to say, they haven't hit the syndication number yet, which means that they probably haven't started getting into the kind of nightly repeat market at this stage.
Yep.
Which means it's very likely that these episodes came and went and then they needed the flashbacks in there. Whereas now, it's like, well, everyone knows the story of Pal Motors and Herb Powell and Pal.
Yeah, and the debates.
Yeah. So then the couch breaks.
Yes.
Oh, so did you want to talk about the award ceremony?
That's after the couch breaks, though.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, you're right. it is.
Yeah.
So the couch breaking, because little Bart is
Bart.
doing an Olympic event.
Yeah. Nice little moment.
It's a very nice little moment. And then Homer has the montage about the couch. Now, something that has always stuck with me is when they show the Homer's watching TV and it's Hands Across America, and there's a line of people, Flanders and the family, through the living room. I have always loved the way that Flanders slides out of the little song they do. Because everyone goes, Hands Across America. And then Flanders continues, America, yeah. And he goes down to this really cool little bluesy note, which I've always enjoyed.
It's really nice.
It's very nice. And then I decided to look up Hands Across America,
Yeah.
And I've got some facts about it.
Good.
Would you like to know some Hands Across America facts?
No, I'm good.
25th of May, 1986.
Okay.
Same year that I was born, different month, different day. Coincidence? You decide. 6.5 million people, approximately,
Holding hands?
holding hands in a human chain across what the Wikipedia article referred to as contiguous America.
Ooh.
So by that, I assume they're not counting Alaska, because that's not part of
Contiguous America.
contiguous America. And Hawaii, which I believe is also an American state. So that's also not part of contiguous America.
Sure.
And any other bits and pieces that are not part of contiguous America are also, by definition, not part of it.
Okay, good.
Excellent.
End of facts. Now keep going.
They held hands for 15 minutes. Many participants, apparently, it said many, which leads me to believe that there are some tight asses, but many participants donated $10 to reserve their place in line, and that went to charity.
Some participants. See, that's when you get to the...
Some participants, freeloading arseholes.
A participant.
The path of people linked major cities and meandered back and forth within the cities to allow for maximum participation of people.
Okay.
So it wasn't just a straight line down the main street of the town. It might go back and forth if more people in that town wanted to line up. There were some huge breaks in the chain, but they decided that with 6.5 million people, if they were standing at an average of 1.2 metres apart, then they would have stretched from coast to coast across the states on average. It's just that, you know, in the middle of desert nowhere, there was probably no one willing to stand there.
Okay. What I really like about Hands Across America
Yeah.
is that afterwards, like, things were good forever and there were no more problems.
It was meant as a symbol of unity.
Yep.
And you know what? I've always said the moment before, so it was a 15-minute duration.
Yep.
The moment before the first minute started, before everyone held hands, that moment was the last moment that America had any troubles to do with unity.
Yeah, which is something I'm very thankful for. Yeah. Once again, we would like to express that we stand with everyone who is marching for anti-violence and that we think you're all heroes. Yeah. Hands Across America.
That's all I had about Hands Across America.
So when the couch breaks...
Which is very different to the other thing, Hans Across America, where they took a German guy and shot him in a cannon.
Yeah.
Trying to get him across
Little
the
mole
States.
man, just going across state to state.
Hans Moment across America.
Yeah, as part of the Do As We Say festival. So, when the couch breaks, Homer says you're going back to where you came from, the curb in front of Flanders' house.
In front of.
Yes.
Yep.
That's how I always pronounce the word flaunt.
Were you hoping I was going to skip over that?
No, I saw the glint in your eyes. I knew you weren't. But Homer says it's going to go back to the curb. And this line hits close to home for me. I would like to briefly run you through some of the furniture in my house.
Sure.
The couch that I sit on, which is breaking slowly but surely.
I enjoy that you define it as the couch you sit on, which makes me wonder if you've got several couches that you don't sit on.
Oh, no, I do not. I just have... Well, I've got the two-piece couch, but...
Two-piece.
This couch is my previous housemate's couch, which last time I talked to him, he's not entirely sure where he got it from. So
Good.
This couch has been in the house for a while.
It's got some history.
There is a cabinet that I keep DVDs and games on that I found outside.
Good.
Just on the street.
Great.
There was another one that was just in the bathroom when I moved in. I'm not sure where it came from exactly, but I'm using that. The table belonged to my previous housemate, and he didn't want it when he moved out. The TV stand I actually bought myself, but like years ago when I actually had money. And
Nice.
the other one, there's a Target shelf that I bought. I didn't buy the one I really wanted because I had to walk it home, and it was a long journey.
Ah.
Yeah. And then I bought another identical one, and again didn't get the one I wanted because it would have cost a lot more in shipping.
Sure.
So I feel like this sort of furniture just being made up of things you found.
Sure.
I feel like that's a good way to live, right?
That's-
My life isn't too sad or broken.
Definitely not. Everything's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I once, a long time ago when I was in a punk band, we were recording our own EP in our drummer's front room.
Yep.
We patched together this ridiculous kind of home recording studio just based on bits and pieces of bullshit we could find. And then on the street...
Bits and pieces of bullshit would be a good name for a band, by the way.
That's a pretty good band. On the street that my drummer lived on, we found an old CRT computer monitor. And we thought, hey, cool, someone's thrown this out. Let's take it back and see if it works. Because if it works, we can use it to mirror the screen of the computer that we're working on, so that one person can look at that while whoever's recording their instrument can see, okay, I can see the waveform. I know what I'm doing. We took it into his house and we were like, hey, mate, look at this thing we just got.
Yeah.
Free monitor. And then, ants started calling out of the monitor and into his living room. And we were just like, we should probably take this outside. And if it's full of ants, I'm not sure it's going to work anymore.
I also have a bunch of outside chairs I found at a dumpster, so, you know,
That's good.
I'm living my best life.
A dumpster brand dumpster or a trash go? Waste
Good
removal
question.
unit.
It was actually the business next door to my house was, I guess, closing down. They threw out everything, and there was a really nice shelving unit that I just could not get out of the dumpster.
Oh, isn't that the worst?
Yeah, I know. Just give it to someone. Don't throw away a perfectly good shelving unit.
No.
I mean, this is why the business is shutting down, I think.
They just had no idea about the value of things.
Sure. I mean, real value to me is in friendship, but also I really would have liked that shelving unit.
Absolutely, you would have.
So, there's a big, elaborate award ceremony for the first annual Montgomery fuck. I can't talk today. My vocal cords are, my ability to think is gone.
Yes.
I took it and I threw it away.
Yeah.
The second coffee's going to kick in pretty soon, I think.
No, I know what your problem is. You got one listen to the sweet, silky tones of the DeVeets, and you've just gone off to a state of spine melter 2000 euphoria.
That's probably true.
Where you can no longer... I mean, at this stage, for you, thoughts don't matter.
After my DeVete treat, I just, words and thoughts, ne'er the two shall meet.
Good.
In my mouth meet.
Yes.
Which is what I call my mouth.
I'm really tripping over my mouth meat. That's what I call my tongue. Yes, the awards
You know,
ceremony.
the other day I started thinking, how far back in my throat does my tongue go? And then I became very self-conscious thinking about my tongue. And now I've done it to everyone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm immune because I've thought it once. So I don't think about it anymore.
That's interesting.
I'm thinking about it a little bit. It is bothering me a lot.
Yeah, tongues are like when you start thinking about it,
Yeah.
you really wish you weren't thinking about it.
Yes.
Oh, I have a grimace of pain on my face at the moment because I'm thinking about my tongue, and it's causing me some discomfort.
The award ceremony is unnecessarily overblown, which is nice. It's cool.
Yes.
And then there's a scene where Barney picks a fight with the boxer whose name I didn't write down.
Oh, Diamond Joe Frazier.
Yes. There's an ongoing thing in like this season of Barney picking fights with sports people.
Yeah,
And this time he gets the shit beaten out of him.
yeah, and then
It's got nothing to do with Pitt the Elder nor Lord Palmerston this
No.
time.
and the
You
door.
see one of his teeth fly through the air?
Yeah, and the door swings back and it's literally dripping with blood.
Yeah.
I mean, Barney has been eviscerated.
Yes. He's been wrecked
Wrecked
by this man.
by Diamond Joe Frazier.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So when Herb rocks up
Yep.
and he goes to the Flanders house,
Yes.
because he's tossing up between, well, which of these houses is likely to be the one that has money? The one that has a very trashed front yard and is all falling down, or the spick and span Flanders house?
The money being $2,000, which I suppose must have been like a shitload back then.
I mean, I don't think it's a life-changing amount. Although, mind you, in the earlier episode where the others got $5,000 for their stock prices, and like they went and bought like extremely fancy sports cars with it.
Yep.
So, but he goes to the Flanders house, and there's a scene as he leaves the Flanders house that I have never quite understood.
Okay.
So he leaves and he says, "Oh, thanks for the suit," and they say, "Hey, if you want to come, blah 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 blah." Flanders being very nice, and then Rod or Todd, this is God, doesn't matter. One of them starts singing "Onward, Christian Soldier," and the whole family joins in.
Yep.
Now here's the thing that I'm not 100% sure what is going on.
Okay.
Herb walks off into the sunset, and the clouds, we can see about half the sun on the horizon, and the clouds are coming in towards the sun like rays.
I'm really enjoying these hand motions you're making to illustrate this.
I'm working very hard to try and find a way to
It's
audio.
like you're a Disney sorcerer. Which is also the music I had in my head when you talk about the ants marching out of that computer screen, by the way.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Also, a Disney sorcerer. Oh, you mean like Aristotle? Anyway.
I meant like Nicolas Cage in The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
It's a bit of a callback. And so the clouds are coming in like rays. They're singing on the Christian Soldier. The clouds and the sun have always looked to me like a reference to the Land of the Rising Sun old school Japanese flag.
Okay.
And I don't know why we see something that looks like it's meant to be a reference to an old school Japanese flag, a symbol that, according to the Wikipedia searching I did, is viewed as a symbol of Japanese imperialism, has been used by some right-wing political parties during protests.
Huh.
And I do not understand why they're singing Onward Christian Soldier marching as to war over this Japanese Land of the Rising Sun flag.
Well, Herb does admit early in the episode that a lot of its success was built on the reappropriation of Japanese language, and that his strategy for marketing his cars was to give them Japanese names, like the Tempura.
Tempura hatchback, yeah.
Yep. So I don't know, maybe is this some sort of reference to his reappropriation of...
Maybe.
I don't know.
For as long as I've known that the clouds and the sun look like a reference to an old Japanese flag, I've been very uncomfortable with that scene because I just don't know what it means.
Can't say it's ever registered for me. I've never really noticed it. That is very interesting, though. I
Do you know the flag I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I guess
cool.
realistically it is just them fucking up, probably.
Maybe. It seems so... Like, hang on, I'm going to
You're
take...
gonna Frankie-ack it?
I'm going to Frankie-ack it because I want you to...
Alright, while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up an earlier point from when they go and look at the chair, the spine melter, or whatever it's called, the spine tingler, the chair that Homer wants to buy, and he sits in, and there's the 2001 parody. And then they're talking about it, and Marge says...
Those clouds are so weird
Oh, yeah?
that they must... Like, I realise it's a fairly abstract interpretation of the Rising Sun flag, but still, the clouds are so weird and so kind of unusually designed that I just feel like it's intentional and I don't know what the intent of it is.
Just looking at it, it might just be, one of the laws of animation, how everything's sort of meant to come to a focal point.
Yeah, I guess so, maybe. But, I
Yeah.
mean, they don't normally draw clouds like that. If anyone out there knows, I'd happily listen.
Which is really the bare minimum of what we can do to anyone who pays us any attention.
That's a very good point.
So when they're talking about this chair, Marge says, this money was a blessing. We can't just spend it on a creature comfort. 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
1, why not? I mean, there's money, they didn't have it before. Why not spend it on something nice?
Sure.
And number 2, just like buy a couch. You need a couch.
Yeah.
Buy a couch. You don't have a couch anymore.
It is very clear what the money should be spent on. A
Yeah.
fucking couch.
Yeah. And probably a washer and dryer. You can probably get both, judging by how much money $2,000 seems to be in the context of the Simpsons world.
Also, I retract that. They're not in urgent need of a couch. They've got the couch in the front room.
Yeah,
Bring that couch into the other room.
they could.
Yeah.
It's such a big house.
I mean, there's so many rooms.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All of them full of things.
So Herb, old mate Herb, he comes into the house, and there's a moment in this episode that impacted me weirdly. I didn't expect.
Impacted you.
Just
with-
a really nice little moment that made me vaguely sad.
Oh.
There's a moment where Marge sees Herb and walks up and says, "Oh, Herb, how are you?" And instantly just hands him Maggie, which is a really lovely casual moment of just characters
Sure.
playing off each other. It's just here's a man that I immediately know a lot and trust and know wants to hold my baby.
Sure.
And this moment made me sad because it reminded me of how few friends Marge has. Just
That's
looking, it's just this guy, just this friend that she feels so immediately comfortable with, who will never appear in the series again after this episode.
No.
There's just a sadness to that.
You know, another aspect that I've just realised has made me sad about that
Yeah.
is that we saw in Homer Alone that Marge doesn't trust Homer with Maggie.
No.
And yet she trusts Homer's brother with Maggie.
Marge should have left Homer for Herb.
Oh! That'd be an interesting one.
Think of all the DeVito we'd get.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We'd get tons of DeVites.
Yeah, we'd get heaps and heaps of that sweet, sweet DeVites. Those are words that almost rhyme.
It's close.
Yeah, so that just filled me with this sort of melancholy. It's this is a really meaningful relationship that Marge had, because Homer has friends, and he's the one who fucked everything up in the first place. And
Although I
Marge
think-
just doesn't get that in the same way in this show.
I think in our initial watching of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Or Yo Bro, Where Are You Though? As I
Yeah.
believe we called it.
Yeah.
I believe we concluded it wasn't Homer's fault. It was Herb's fault for giving all this power over to Homer.
I mean, that is true, and like no oversight whatsoever.
But something that made me sad
Yeah.
is when Herb says to Bart, pizza boxes are an inexpensive source of cheese. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. My concern is, why is he paying for discarded pizza boxes? Surely discarded pizza boxes should be a free source of cheese.
You would think so.
They're discarded. By the very definition, no one wants them.
Yeah.
That's why they're discarded.
Absolutely.
And so who's coming along saying, 20 cents for that box if you don't mind?
Yeah, somebody's got a really weird racket going on pizza boxes.
Someone's got a
maybe
really weird
maybe
racket.
within the homeless community within Springfield, there is some sort of economy around pizza boxes.
Due to the economic downturn.
The economic downturn, absolutely. So Herb has this idea to build a device that lets you hear what a babby has to say.
Yes, little Babby.
What does babby even mean? And
What if Babby modern?
yeah, he shows them a drinking bird to illustrate how a good idea, how like a simple idea marketed well can make a lot of money. Two things.
Yes.
One, the entire relevance of the drinking bird in modern society is down to this episode and nothing else.
Yes, nothing else.
Every time I see a drinking bird, I'm like, The Simpsons.
Yep.
Also, that's just really good writing, I think, that scene. Where he just walks in like, here's like a weird thing, this is a good example of like how marketing something well.
Sure.
Even though, like, it must have meant something different at the time, because now our idea of that object is so superseded by The Simpsons' representation of it
That's
that the
interesting.
idea of it being inherently popular and marketed well is irrelevant to us.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But just taken as an example of, like,
It's
him
almost-
setting up, this is what I'm trying to do, it's very good writing.
It's almost become a self-negating prophecy.
Yes.
Because the marketing of that bird has nothing to do with that bird's relevance or popularity to us.
Yes.
But the reason we know of it is the speech that says the marketing of it was good.
Yeah.
That's complex. That's deep.
That is something.
It's definitely something.
And then you just crossed out your last night. You didn't say anything.
The last night was an inexpensive source of cheese.
Oh, okay.
I said that before.
Okay, and then...
Sometimes I cross things out on a one comment delay, Jackal.
That's fair. So, Herb is going to build this thing that lets you know what the baby is saying. And, he used to be like a car designer, and he just admitted his whole thing was just giving them, like, interesting names.
Yeah.
How on earth does Herb have the experience necessary to build this machine?
Well, that's a very interesting question. One of the...
He just crossed out a note that said one comment delay.
I told you, sometimes I cross things out on a one comment delay.
Yeah, I know. Just had to explain why I was laughing, because this is an audio medium.
I know. I just enjoyed that. Completely stared right into your soul while I turned my book around and crossed out the note. I mean, that's an interesting point. Maybe he was just downplaying his design efforts to the boys under the bridge, because
Well, he must be an incredible scientist.
he must be quite clever.
Because he builds this for $2,000 in the space of what seems to be about a week.
With nothing more than
One baby.
one baby and an oscilloscope.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But whatever. It's, I can go with it because it's a nice little plot line.
It's a nice plotline.
But it's still nuts and ridiculous.
Maybe he's just a mad genius and we didn't know.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe
he
that's
is with
what-
the Veets.
Maybe that's where Bart gets it from.
Ooh, maybe.
You know how you're constantly inheriting traits from your uncle? You know,
Yeah.
that thing.
Common experience, unless Herb is the real father, which we have no reason to suspect, apart from this one thing we've just said.
And it would have made much more sense for Marge to go for Herb.
He is a better person,
I think-
except for his volatile nature and inability to run a company.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, we've all got those.
He's probably not as good as at managing a country star as Homer is.
Sure.
But in every other way, seems like a good guy.
The episode with Pearline Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to go with it further now. I'm like, no, Pearline Pumpkin's the best one.
Pearline Pumpkin's good enough.
Yeah. So we go to some sort of show where he's showing off the baby translator, which, by the way...
Not a boat show, so I'm not fucking interested.
Yeah, there's going to be no sex at this show.
Sorry, Sonic.
Linking back to an earlier episode, that's not just me being weird. Well, it is me being weird, but for a reason.
Yeah, in context, it makes sense is overselling it, but in context, it's something.
So, a question about this baby translator.
Sure.
Is it possible he's just lying and this thing doesn't work? And it just says like a phrase, and he's just programmed a lot of phrases into it?
I don't know, because the phrases that were shown do make sense in context.
They do.
It does indicate that actually maybe he's cracked it. Even though I think the flaw in this is that there is absolutely no research in the real world that indicates babies can form sentences or cogent thoughts.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of, well, my understanding of childhood development is it's not a matter of, oh, sweet, finally, I'm learning the words and I can put all these complex multi-clause sentences into action because I now have the words to translate them. It's not like learning another language where you go, cool, now I know how to say hello, how are you in Japanese. It's your ability to have these thoughts increases with the more words you learn.
Yeah. Well, there are some documentaries I've watched, like Look Who's Talking, the TV series Rugrats, Baby Geniuses, that sort of thing. They explain that actually babies can understand English and can speak English. They just don't want adults to know about it. Boss Baby, that's another one.
Family Guy.
Yep, Family Guy.
Yep. And that one also indicates that dogs can talk. Which
Yeah,
is
it's got the baby who says things like "blast, blast, I want to kill my mom. I'm a smart baby and I'm also gay." Like he says things like that. It's really funny and smart.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as smart as.
You have to be like a real intellectual to understand Family Guy. That's the thing that people don't understand.
I've always said that about Family Guy.
And the crazy thing about animation is that they have to get people to act it all out. So they actually just get a baby in there, and the baby says those lines.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
No, it's good stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so they go to the baby show. Frank kills his son accidentally.
That's good.
Flying him out a window.
And the rest of Frank's son's cartoon show,
Death Dream.
But
he says, "My wife is going to kill me," which is again part of this ongoing thing in The Simpsons, where fathers lose their children and their only concern is that their wife will be angry at them. Much like in the episode Home Alone. Again, it seems like
a place of misplaced priorities.
Yeah. These early episodes of The Simpsons fall into roles of gender conformity very easily.
Yes, they do.
And it's a whole thing. So Herb becomes rich again. His machine's very successful. And he gives the family gifts. And there are two that I think we need to single out and talk about.
Sure.
One that you'll have a lot to say about, one that I'll have a lot to say about. Well, you might have something to say about Bart becoming a member of the NRA, I thought.
Oh, yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yes.
In the current climate.
Yes.
Because, don't know if I mentioned this before, Jekyll, but don't like guns.
No, guns are bad.
Yeah. It's very, it's an interesting one to have to reconcile. And look, obviously, Bart is a well-known hellraiser. He's a well-known rabble-rouser.
Yep. He's a bad little boy.
Bad little boy.
Yep.
Does that extend to Bart wanting automatic
cyanide-tipped bullets he's asking about?
Yeah, armor-piercing cyanide-tipped bullets. Don't know. Although I guess the positive is when Bart says, "Oh, cool, can I also get armor-piercing cyanide-tipped bullets?" and he says, and Herb says, "Of course you can. It's in the Constitution." That is a nice enough piss take about how fucking ridiculous the American gun situation is.
And when Bart says he wants a machine gun, he says he wants to use it to spell out things and ring in the new year.
Yeah.
So he's got a very childish understanding of what a gun is.
Sure.
As most children who kill people do.
Yes, very interesting point. It's almost like they don't understand the gravity of the device. But, yeah, that one's just... in the current political climate around the world, that was an interesting line.
Yeah, there's a lot of, a lot of mentions of guns in the sense like, yeah, the world's kind of too fucked for that to be funny now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Lisa gets a complete collected classics of literature. As they say, it was like every week or every month you'll receive a new one.
Sure.
And he says, from Beowulf to Less Than Zero. Now, Beowulf is a fairly established classic.
Yes.
Less Than Zero is the debut novel, unless there's like another Less Than Zero that I'm unaware of. Less Than Zero was the debut novel of Bret Easton Ellis.
Oh,
Now, two things here. In no way is that book suitable for a child.
okay.
And also, I've read that book. It sucks. It's a terrible book. Bret Easton Ellis is a very controversial, difficult figure. I like some of his work. I think Luna Pug's very good. I think American Psycho is an interesting book. Glamorama's pretty good as well. Less Than Zero is not very good. It got a lot of publicity when it came out because he was like 24 and it was, you know, an interesting look at LA in some ways, but it's dated very poorly and is not a book for an 8-year-old.
Sure.
And it's just a weird thing in the episode. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Top 5?
Top 5? You want to get into that? Okay. Well,
think so.
Yeah, this is a good episode. The ending's very sweet. The one we just, yeah, don't worry about that. You're pointing at the timer. These episodes usually go for an hour. It's not a big deal that we've been recording for 42 minutes.
No, but sorry. What I was saying is because the top 5's part of this episode,
Yeah.
and normally we do half an hour.
I think the last one was like 20 minutes.
Okay,
It's okay. This episode, very sweet, nice ending. DeVito rules. I like Homer saying that he's never really hugged a man before and then hugging his brother because that's a very early 90s like weird thing. I feel like men hug now. People hug.
Yep.
There's hugging happening all over the place.
I mean, you don't, but
I've
most
been
people
known to
don't.
hug.
I had to coerce you into hugging at the end of our Christmas podcast.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, well,
But I did it, didn't I?
yeah, you did.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5
we'll
of
start
season
from
3.
We'll start from 5 and work our way down to number 1.
Yeah,
or
I
work
think
our way
so.
up to number 1. Work our way up, I think.
Yeah. We'll see how many of them match up this time.
Because last time heaps of them did. So my number 5,
Yep.
Bart the My Favourite Murderer.
Bart is my favorite murderer.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, what did you like about that one? How did weasel his way into number 5?
Honestly, I don't know. Because my thing with these things is, you may recall when we did the first top 5 episode, I expressed that I have some difficulty creating top 5s.
Yeah.
I've done some further self-reflection and I now can articulate why I have difficulty with top 5s.
Sure.
Is that I have such little esteem for myself that not even I care about my opinion. And so when someone says, hey Nick, in your opinion, what are the top 5 episodes of season 3 of The Simpsons? My response is, why the fuck would anyone care about my reasoning for this?
Well, we have people who listen to the podcast. They care. I care. I'm your friend. My name is James.
I care about your opinion. I care about everyone else's. Don't care about mine.
Nick, you gotta learn to love the beast sometimes.
But My Favourite Murderer, there was a lot of just good stuff in that episode. I liked that it started with kelp checks as a
Kelp checks,
cereal.
yep.
It had a really good ad break ending, and those are the only notes I had about the episode from when we reviewed it the last time.
Before I launch into my number 5, one thing I was thinking as I was writing this list is that my top 5 episodes, I think, is very different having watched the season than it would have been if you'd asked me before we watched it to just
Oh, interesting.
have a shot at this, because as many times as we've seen these episodes, of course, you think differently with a pen and paper in hand, and when you analyze them on a podcast.
Well, maybe we need to start doing like a Johnny Carson thing of like before the season before the season we write our top 5 down in an envelope, we seal it, and then we unopen it. In the next top 5, we open it and be like, oh, look at how wrong I was.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I have to
like that.
Now I have to do 2 top 5s. Why did I suggest that?
But my number 5 definitely would have made it onto the list regardless. I think maybe would have placed higher. My number 5 is Black Widower,
Oh, yes.
which we watched earlier today,
Yes.
as it turns out, because this is the 3rd episode we've recorded today.
Yes.
Big fan of Sideshow Bob in general. I like the way the plot plays out on that one. It's funny. All the stuff about the incarceration rates, and they probably could have teased that out a bit more honestly, but it's good. I like it.
It's good.
It's got a good plot. Kelsey Grammer fucks. It's good.
I'm now looking at my top 5 thinking that Black Widower probably should have been in there. My number 4 is Bart the Lover.
Bart the Lover, yep. Lover, you don't treat me no good no more, yep.
Yep, exactly. Woodrow Wilson, great cameo.
Yes.
That's it.
You're just a big fan of Woodrow Wilson.
Huge fan of Woodrow Wilson.
Woodrow? Okay.
I'm Woodrow. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
My number 4,
Yes.
I Married Marge.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
But what's your number 4?
Remember I talked about this last week. You didn't show up to the wedding. Yeah, I really like this one because I am a bit of a sucker for the flashback to the past, Homer and Marge, being young and like just dealing with shit episodes.
Huh.
And this one's just really nice. I really like the scene where they sing together in the car. I like the exploration of their early marriage. It's also very funny. It's a sweet episode. I like it.
It's nice.
It is nice. What's your number 3?
Lisa the Greek.
Lisa the Greek.
I feel like the Lisa-centric episodes were underrated by me as I was growing up.
Yep.
And so this one, when you're going back to it, it's nice Lisa Homer stuff. There's a lot at stake.
Yep.
It's full of nice bits and pieces.
It is nice bits and pieces.
Pieces. And there was a name of a snack that Homer was eating, which I enjoyed, and now I don't remember what it was.
Pieces.
Man, flicking through my notes is just insane. Crunchy corns.
You've crossed out all your notes. How are you reading them when you flick back?
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Like Radio Bart, I've gone really heavy with crossing them out on there. I'll read you my notes from Radio Bart. I Will Not Carve Gods, Phineas Q Butterfat, Dr. Marvin Monroe's Guide to Etiquette, Janie, Well Hats, and Gross Negligence. So I can still read all my notes.
Very good.
It's just that I crossed them all out. Anyway, that's not the one I was talking about. I was talking about Lisa the Greek.
Yes.
Lisa the Greek, crunchy corns, and also the bag of chips that just says salt. That's why I like Lisa the Greek.
That's good. A lot of your notes are just like the snacks that people are eating in the episode. And all right, so my number...
I'm a huge fan of Snack Watch.
Yeah.
Oh, as if I haven't... Yeah, okay, Snack Watch. Dun, dun.
Okay,
That's
Snack
not
Watch.
going to be a recurring thing.
My number 3 was Bart, the Moiterer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got opinions that are slightly more fleshed out than mine.
I think this episode has a phenomenal structure.
Yes.
Remember we talked about how great it is, like the whole opening and then like the ad break with the guns pointing at him is perfect.
Yes, guns, yes.
All the Mafia movie parodies are spot on.
Mafia.
Yeah, sure. Skinner getting trapped under the newspapers is very funny.
Yes.
The guest stars are all really good. Just this one just sort of pops. This is like a well-oiled machine of an episode where everything just follows everything else perfectly and you can just see the wheels turning and it's beautiful in motion.
I just want to point out to any listeners at home, everything that Jekyll said, and look, this is probably going to get edited out, but this is just between you and me, alright guys? Everything Jekyll just said, he copied word for word from what I said, but I bet he's going to cut this episode up and edit it so that I'm just like, duh, I don't know, I don't really have opinions, and then he's going to take my brilliantly thought out critique, repeat it word for word, claim it as his own.
I got an idea.
What?
For you to flesh out your opinions more, what you should do is do your professorial accent.
Oh, okay, I'll do that for the top 2, shall I?
Sure.
Number 2 on my list of top 5 of Season 3 of The Simpsons. Stark Raving Dad. The season opener. The one with the guest cameo from Michael Jackson. The one with the lovely tender moment and the song that Michael and Bart write for little Lisa. Yes, little Lisa. One of the daughters of the family. The eponymous family of The Simpsons.
That was good because you just kept stretching it out.
It's one of the few episodes that I remember liking when I was younger and still find I like now. As opposed to some that, to tell you the truth, there are some that I used to regard as very high and now I don't regard them highly at all. But this one fucks.
Now, Professor, while I've got you here,
Yeah.
if you could give me some analysis of the song Lisa, It's Your Birthday.
Lisa, it's your birth. I mean, one thing you must consider, of course, is that at the time this episode was made, at the time this episode was filmed,
Yes.
that song was, of course, still under copyright. And they were not that song, sorry.
The Happy Birthday song.
The Happy Birthday song was still under copyright, and you simply couldn't use Happy Birthday to you, which now it's in public domain. The copyright's expired. You could use it now. But back then we had to create our own birthday songs, our own rousing anthems to sing on the anniversary of one's
Birth?
I want to say
Canal exit?
birth canal exit.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take a run at that then. Of the anniversary of one's own birth canal exit.
It just sounds so dirty when you say it.
Yes. Yes. Have you seen my DVD, by the way? Professor Fuzzy's Guide to You Know What.
Is that you?
Yes. What the fuck was I saying? Yes, so they had to write their own happy birthday song. And you know what? By gum, they did it. Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. I mean, that's it. Right there. That's the crux of the entire celebration.
Yeah.
Yes, summarize in a catchy tune and a and that one. And then the tapping of the bin. Emphasizing the passage of time.
Very good.
The tapping of the bin like the hands on a fucking clock.
What?
I don't know. The tapping of the bin like the ticking of a hand. Does anyone like this character? Because I have such a fun time doing it.
Would you like to hear my number 2?
I'd love to hear your number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 was Colonel Homer, or as I call it, Colonial Homer.
Yeah, the one where Homer goes and invades other lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, colonialist Homer.
Yeah, just a really beautiful episode. Great plot, great use of Beverly D'Angelo.
Yes.
Fantastic music, constant jokes. Just lovely. Great stuff. We just talked about it like 2 episodes ago, so go back and listen to that, but I really like this episode.
Good stuff.
And I have fond memories of it because when I was living at your place, as we've established, I was feeling like shit, and we watched the episodes, that one really stood out to me as like, oh yeah, this is why I love The Simpsons so much, because of this shit.
It's an absolute cracker.
Oh, it's a cracker.
Yes.
Yes.
My number 1 is Colonel Homer.
I assumed it would be.
That's how much I liked it.
Yeah.
Look, as I'm sure you've heard if you listen to the last episode where I absolutely butchered the living fuck out of Bag Me a Homer, I really liked that episode. I really like the songs in it. They're catchy. They're hard to play and sing if you're an idiot like me, but great episode.
Great episode. And my number 1,
Yes.
my favorite episode of season 3,
Dancing Homer.
Absolutely. My favorite, which I wouldn't have even thought would make the top 5 probably coming into this.
The one where Jerry and Elaine fuck.
Yeah, I love that one. It was, in fact, Bart the Lover.
Oh, Bart the Lover.
My top episode.
Yeah.
Which was somewhere in your top 5.
It
like
was
4,
my
I think.
4th, yeah.
Yeah, Bart the Lover. Again, I'd forgotten how ridiculously, astonishingly good this episode is. Every single plot line just works together in tandem. You've got, obviously, Bart tricking Krabappel, and then, what the fuck else happens in that episode? It's very good. I remember that much.
There's a sexy photo of Edna.
There is the sexy photo of Edna. There is Homer with the swear jar. All of that stuff. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Every joke is good.
Yes.
They all hit.
They do.
Everything's really funny in this episode. It's full of memes. It's got $5 get out of here. I don't want any damn vegetables. Like those scenes that seep into the subconscious and
But
become...
Don't Quit. Also,
Yep.
also on the podcast, or the postcard.
Yep.
Wow, it turns out I've forgotten the word postcard and assumed that podcast is the... Yeah, no, I'll go on vacation. I'll go on a holiday to somewhere and I'll send you a podcast. Vancouver.
I would like that.
Wish you were here.
It's got the yo-yos. It's got everything. This episode fucks, as I said back then. And I love it. It's very good.
And that's our...
My favorite episode of Season 3.
And that's our top 5 of Season 3.
Yeah.
Now, for any listeners that have been tuning in for some time,
Yes.
you would know that at the end of every season... well, I say at the end of every season. We've done it twice. We've watched The Simpsons movie.
Yes.
I hate that movie and I don't want to watch it anymore.
Nick's trying to find a way out of doing it.
I'm trying to find a way out of doing it. And what I'm doing is a little move that some people would call out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Okay.
Because what I'm going to suggest to you now, James,
Yep.
and I haven't run this past you, but what I'm going to suggest to you, and I think you might like it, is rather than the Simpsons movie, what if we do the Simpsons movie club?
Okay.
So you know that there are many movies that The Simpsons make constant references to. I'm guessing Citizen Kane would be up there. I'm guessing 2001: A Space Odyssey is up there.
Yep.
Maybe Planet of the Apes. You know, those movies that constantly keep reappearing.
Sure.
What if, at the end of every season, rather than watch The Simpsons movie, we do a Simpsons movie club where at the end of the top 5, we tell everyone, hey guys, this is the movie, watch it within the next week. Then we'll watch it and do like a review on it, and you can tell me about the importance of the movie and the themes within it while I sit there and cry.
What I like about this idea is that, yes, this will be a hugely pleasurable experience for me, revisiting several of my favorite movies of all time, while you will be upset, irritated, angry, and bored.
Yes, but the thing is, I was going to be upset, angry, irritated, and bored by the Simpsons movie anyway.
Yep.
But I think that there is a solid chance that some of these movies will piss me off less than the Simpsons movie.
They'll also be like 2+ hours long, but it'll be good.
That's fine. I don't care.
So what should we start with? What are you thinking?
See, balls in your court for this, because I think I'd gone through a few different stages of this idea in my head.
Yep.
Initially, I thought that we needed to review the season to see if there were references to a specific movie. I don't think it's worth doing that. I think that we just, we can rely on your movie knowledge to think, okay, well, for example, Citizen Kane, that appears in lots of references to things, so let's do that. Or it might be a fucking Charlie Chaplin movie, because we see Abe making some Charlie Chaplin references. Who cares what season the references are in?
Yep.
Let's just pick them and go.
All right, so the 3 that immediately come to mind, and maybe I'll just say the 3 and you can tell me which one sounds most appealing to you.
Sure.
Okay, so Citizen Kane, you've just mentioned like 40 times. Citizen Kane's a great fucking movie.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure I have it on DVD somewhere,
Okay, that'd be handy.
so that's good. In fact, all 3 of the ones I'm thinking of I have on DVD.
That's
The
handy.
Shining, which is a movie I love, which terrifies me pretty deeply.
Okay.
How are you with horror?
Can we sit on the same couch and watch it so you can hug me when I get scared?
Only if you'll hug me back when I get scared.
Yeah, boy.
And then the last one I'm thinking,
Sure.
the Hitchcock classic Rear Window, which is a fucking stellar movie.
I think I've seen part of Rear Window. My sister likes that movie a lot. I haven't seen
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'd be happy with any of those. Have you got a 3-sided coin we can toss?
I do actually. Here it is.
Outstanding. Wow, that thing's really mangled.
Let me just let me get it out and we'll flip it.
Are we still talking about the coin?
I was hoping that would land on the table and make a nice noise.
Fucking outstanding. Outstanding toss of a coin. Just send 50 cents flying through my living room.
I will need to pick that up. I cannot afford to lose 50 cents.
Wait, I've got 10 cents here. If I flick it close enough to the mic, I wonder if we'll get that little ringing sound that you get. All right, ready?
Yep.
So, wait, are we going to do like a... What?
It's only a 2-sided coin. This is the bet can only go so far.
No. So here's what we do. I'll narrow it down to 2 of my own choosing.
Do you have a 3-sided dice?
And then we'll let... No. And then we'll let the coin decide the third one.
Okay.
So I'm going to narrow it down to The Shining or Rear Window.
Okay.
Heads The Shining, tails Rear Window.
Okay, what's actually going to happen is you'll flick the coin and then you realize which one you actually want to watch.
I genuinely tell people to use that as a decision-making tool.
Yeah.
I always tell people to toss a coin, not
Yep.
because you let the coin decide, but you'll know which side you want. So
Yes.
I honestly couldn't give a fuck. So this is going to be a genuine coin toss.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that if I flick it close enough to the mic, we should be able to get the nice noise of the coin ringing as it vibrates in the air. So heads, what did I say?
I don't remember.
Heads, Shining,
Well, wouldn't it make
tails.
more sense for tails to be rear window? Because rear, tail?
Yeah, head, Shining, tails, Rear Window.
It is heads.
Heads, The Shining.
The Shining, okay. I guess next week we'll be watching The Shining, a movie that will upset Nick a lot, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. And then can we watch the documentary Room 237 about the conspiracy theories that have come out of The Shining?
We have to wait until after our next top 5 before we can do that.
Okay, we don't even need to do it for the podcast. Can we just watch that movie?
I'm not voluntarily watching movies for no content
It's
creation.
so good, though.
Well, listeners, I don't know how invested anyone else is in this idea, but feel
You have very little time to tell us. We probably will have recorded by the time.
almost certainly. But feel free to watch The Shining before you listen to the next episode.
We will discuss it in the context of The Simpsons as well.
Yes, and I imagine it's
It won't be another Love the Beast episode.
No, nothing will be another Love the Beast episode. I imagine it will be pretty spoiler heavy, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
we're literally just casting a crystal
I
ball.
think people
to
know
say-
what happens in The Shining,
Yeah, I
more or
guess people do
less.
too. But if you want to be able to enjoy it on the same level as me, then all you need is 31 years of hating movies, and then you'll be able to do that. If you want to enjoy it on the same level as Jekyll, go get a degree.
Or just, like, be a person.
Just be a person.
It's a very good movie.
All right. Cool.
All right, well, thank you for listening. As always, we'll be back with that, and then we'll do season 4. We got some other shit in the can as well. We'll get on top of that.
Everything's probably fine.
We're on all the social media. We're either Key Springfield or Pods in the Key of Springfield, depending on where you're looking. Wooza Wuzzle.
Onward, Christian soldier, marching us to war in Springfield.
Well, here it is. As we have been hinting for a long time, here's our exclusive interview with Danny DeVito, the DeVites himself. Danny, it's good to have you here.
I ain't talking about nothing. This skull is Fort Knox.
Well, we'll see about that. So tell me, what is it like being an actor? What is your process?
My life is a lie. My life is a lie. Somebody's got to get stabbed.
I'm sorry to hear that. What do you do when you're feeling down to perk yourself up?
Look, if life pushes you down, you gotta push back. If you're dealt a bunch of lemons, you gotta take those lemons and stuff them down somebody's throat until they see yellow.
I've got to say, Danny, you're a bit more aggressive than I expected.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
No, thank you. I'm good. So I have to ask, who are your guys?
My roommate was a frog kid.
Doesn't really answer my question, but okay. Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Mr. DeVito, for everything.
Oh, whoops! Oh, I dropped my monster condom that I used for my Magnum Dong.
Yes, I see that. Thank you again.